and a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3.
TB&J! TB&J!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. With me today is my co-host, Troy Brittingham.
Oh my god, are you the Jeff Ackerman?
I am the Jeff Ackerman, the one and only. And with us today, remotely, we have Chris Carroll.
On an Xbox Live headset, I'm gonna 360 no-scope you, and then I'll sleep with your mother.
And of course, we got Old D with us today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Great.
What did we watch today, Troy? Or I guess 2 days ago, but what did we watch?
We watched The Eternals in 2 different theaters. Why was that, Jeff?
Because
So
so D.
Wait, I'm up here in the third row. Where are you guys?
We were all like the credits were.
We're
like,
not in IMAX.
The trailers were all like coming to an end. We're like, where is Jeff? And we just see like people walk in over and over again. Every single person. I'm like, oh, no, that's not him either.
You know what's funny? I purposely wore my Braves jersey because, first of all, World Series champs, what's up? Second of all, it's very loud, so like if I walk in, you'll see it first, and you're like, oh, there's the asshole wearing a Braves jersey in Philadelphia.
And I knew.
Well,
'cause-
congratulations.
I figured Jeff wasn't in the same theater as us because we never heard him like hyena laugh at any of the dumb jokes.
Well, I didn't do that anyway because all the jokes were spoiled in the trailer, so I already knew what was coming. But anyway, D bought tickets for his family to go see the movie, and he was like, hey guys, here's where we're sitting, follow this link, buy tickets. So I clicked on the link, he texted us, and I did not do anything else. I clicked on my tickets, and I should have figured it out because I was like, oh, $19, that seems a lot for a standard movie, but whatever. And then I checked out, and I get there, and they're like, oh, you're in this one right up front in the IMAX. And I'm like, I am? Oh no, I think I'm in the wrong theater.
You know, you
Nice.
could have just come to our theater.
I
But you
probably-
already
Listen,
paid
you
for the IMAX.
you paid more than you needed to.
You know what I
shall
paid
not
for?
complain.
No, here's what I paid for. I paid for the guy in front of me to have the world's largest, noisiest bag of Skittles and just go crinkle, 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 crinkle every fucking 10 seconds. And the guy to
So,
my
wow.
immediate left constantly had a frog in his throat, so every fucking 30 seconds it was... And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
How
but,
did I get
but
sandwiched between the two
Nicole,
worst moviegoers?
Nicole Kidman explained that at the beginning of the movie, that this would happen. This is what you come for.
Nicole Kidman, yeah, in her AMC Theaters ad, which plays every fucking time.
Okay, so we saw the Eternals.
We saw the Eternals.
We gonna go. I like when you say thumbs up or thumbs down.
Okay, so immediate reactions. Troy, thumbs up, thumbs down. It's got to be. It's a yes or no.
I think I'm thumbs down.
Okay. Chris, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm giving it a solid thumbs down, and I'm clicking the button underneath my desk to drop you into a pit of sharks.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
no.
Why
Why do you have that?
D, thumbs up, thumbs down.
It was way too expensive.
it's-
I got overquoted on it.
I'm a down.
You're a down. I'm also a down.
We've got the downs.
That's a weirdly
The
phrased
critics
joke.
were right. The critics were correct all along.
Yeah, so the biggest
Will
news.
Marvel go down for the count? Oh, they've the mighty giant has fallen.
The whole franchise is over. There's not.
No
they're not
one
making
will
any more
ever
again.
like them again.
Disney has
no
just
one
declared
likes a
bankruptcy.
loser.
So the
They've
big
handed
news.
over the keys.
The big news
Mickey
story.
is homeless.
Jesus Christ. They've repoed the castle.
There's just a giant cat there now.
They give the swamp back to the alligators.
The whole state of Florida is like half as big now.
Just chop off. The
They just
stick.
chop off the end of it, push it out to sea.
America's dick no more.
We got a circumcision.
Yes, Jesus Christ. All right, so the big news story that I had heard going into this movie a week or two before, when the screeners went out, was that this is the lowest rated Marvel's movie ever. And at first I was like, oh, I mean, that's kind of like the worst slice of pizza. It's still pizza. It's still okay. It can't be bad, can it? And then I saw it, and now I'm like, you know what? I understand. This was not the best movie. It could have been a lot better. I don't think it was a bad film, but it was definitely a bad Marvel film.
So this is what I was going to ask: is it your least favorite Marvel movie to everybody in the?
Certainly for me, but then again, I also have not seen a larger chunk of the more new recent ones. I know Ms. Marvel is a lot of people's like favorite to hate on, and fucking what was that other one that people hated?
People don't like Captain Marvel. People don't like
Ant-Man and the
Thor.
Wasp.
I like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
As far as like critics and
right,
bullshitters go, that one gets shit on a lot, and so does Ms. Marvel.
There's
so,
like Thor 2.
How does anyone hate Ragnarok?
Well,
Doesn't
Thor,
matter.
No, Thor. That's Thor 3.
Before we get too far from the question, Chris and D, is this like your least favorite Marvel movie?
No.
Really? What would be your least favorite, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, Thor 2 is really hard to get through. There's like I don't hate Iron Man 3 nearly as much as some people do.
Oh yeah,
I
Iron Man
am
3.
not an Iron Man 3 person.
I'm not an Iron Man 3 I'm not a huge fan, but I don't think it's bad at all.
Who was that villain, the Mandarin?
Yeah, I think it was
I don't know
great.
the other guy.
I
His
don't
real
know.
name.
I literally just keep hearing that movie thrown into the batch of like blah movies, and I'm like, I don't think so. That one really works. Anyway, point being that I thought this one was just it was like a movie of sepia tone.
Mm-hmm.
It was backlit, like everything was backlit.
Yeah, that did seem weird.
I feel like it just felt off, and Angelina Jolie was weird.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't feel right here. I don't think they gave her anything to do, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, she's not. No one was bad per se. It was just what are we
the
doing
characters
here?
were pretty okay. Some of them.
So
there were so
actually-
many
I
characters.
actually
I was
think
like, you could have done half of these people.
I was thinking about this. The characters that I think that I like the most are like the characters that aren't the focused on ones. I think that like they like the focused on ones. So you have like Cersei, Icarus, Sprite, and
Athena.
Athena. And I kind of didn't care about any of them, but I did like Gilgamesh. I liked
Dude, Gilgamesh
Phastos.
was my favorite.
Gilgamesh, Phastos.
Gilgamesh. They
Kingo, I
concentrated
think
a
he
little bit on
was.
They concentrated on Phastos. They like once they got into him. He
That's
was kind of a
true.
late arrival, but they did a good deal with him.
Right.
But you're right. But they kill Gilgamesh. Spoiler. But yeah, of course. As soon as I was realizing he was my favorite, I was like, oh, they're gonna kill him now.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, he's so good and big. I was like, oh, all right, he's just gonna die now. Okay, I got it. And then the Deviant the storyline was just to give Athena something to do at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
so
it was nothing.
yeah, so they
too
have
bad.
this dude who he's absorbing their powers, going throughout the movie, getting more and more sentient, and then like he gives like a whole speech where he's like, "Oh, you've been killing us for centuries. Like we're the same." Whatever. It kind of seems like he's like, "Oh, I'm a victim of this too." And then he goes to get into a fight in the end. I'm like, okay, so is he gonna like team up with them? Is it gonna be like a bad guy
I thought
to
they
good
would
guy?
have done that.
I
They
agree,
could have
yeah.
gone that way to team up against the Celestials because, spoiler alert, the guy.
Right.
Oh God, we
That
got to start
that-
explaining some of this. I
Yeah,
think.
This is the other thing is it just got so confusing, and they tried to be cutesy with Jon Snow and
Dane Whitman.
by
His
the
name
way,
is
did you
Dane
have any?
Whitman.
It's Jon Snow. It's Jon Snow, and it's awesome. He's gonna be just the Black Knight. It's just Jon Snow.
He'll still know nothing.
And he's gonna
gonna
say, "Comic movies are coming."
No,
God.
Galactus is coming.
What was the
Galactus is
sword?
coming.
What
We
was the
must be
sword?
ready.
The-
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Well, at
Yeah,
least
that's
he
what,
didn't
that's
sound
what he
like
said
him
in the
then.
contract meeting with Disney.
No, are you kidding me?
They're like, we're gonna give you a sword. He's like, I don't want it.
And we're gonna give you a pile of money.
Oh.
Okay.
I do want
we-
it.
I do want it.
I do want it.
That's actually a lot of zeros. I do want it.
like the opposite of teacher money. That's Disney movie money.
honestly, like to be real, I hate to be that like negative Nancy kind of type of person, but
What are you talking
like,
about? You love
it's
being
not-
negative.
I don't. I especially with Marvel stuff. And here's the thing. It is not hard. It is not hard at all to say that like the not. I guess I'm not going to say jump the shark because jump the shark is a different thing. Apparently, a lot of people use that wrong. But the moment that Marvel hit the downfall is when Harry Styles walks out as Star Fox.
That is the proper usage of the term "jump the shark." By the way, jump the shark is when things start going downhill.
No, it's actually not. Apparently, it is a stunt.
Yeah, it's a reference to Happy Days when Fonzie jumped a
listen,
shark.
Yes, I know, but the context of that, as in like what was the summarization of what that is. What that is a failing show, a show that has already started a decline. It's not the moment of decline. It's a failing show that has tried to do a stunt or some type of event to bolster its rating.
It's like a spectacular
They do something
final nail in the
outlandish
coffin.
to try and
They do something
recapture
outlandish to
its
kind of
audience.
recapture their audience.
It's like the jumping the shark in Happy Days. It's like in Family Guy when they killed off Brian just for clicks.
So
When they have a kid on the show to gain like a new audience, they just have like the
Sure,
a new
sure,
baby,
sure.
like growing pains and stuff when they or whatever.
So I hear what you're saying, but I kind of don't think that's what this is going to be. I think
Well,
that
you're wrong.
Okay, well,
So
Jesus.
let's move on.
Okay.
but
Sorry. Go ahead, Trey.
I think that like right now we're in the Shang-Chi Eternals sort of like moment where it's like, okay, let's try to like do some not risky characters, but like some less known characters. These definitely aren't Spider-Man. And then I think that we're going to like get back to your Doctor Strange 2, your Spider-Man, stuff like that.
You can't get here fast enough, dude.
Right. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
People really liked Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi,
Absolutely.
I think people liked a lot more than I did. I thought Shang-Chi was kind of like I got to give it another like watch because
I believe the average audience rating was a 92, if memory serves.
I mean,
Yeah,
to
I
be
mean,
fair,
like,
after this one, I think we're all like, maybe we're.
I'm ready for Spider-Man 3 this summer, winter.
But
Spider-Man
like
3, I can't imagine it being bad, but it could be, I guess. But like, I doubt it.
but that's my whole thing is like I feel like once we get back to some of the characters where it's like because this doesn't feel very Marvel-y. It doesn't feel very
It doesn't.
Avengers.
And I'm okay with it not feeling Marvel-y
Yeah.
in a certain sense.
It just needs to feel like something else.
It needs to feel like something. Like I just felt like everything was just devoid of life, and like for a central plot that was to save mankind, it felt very devoid of like humanity.
Yeah, could you imagine? Could you imagine if this movie ended with like the world ending, and you're just like, yeah, it's Thor, Spider-Man. They're actually all dead off screen.
Jesus Christ.
There is kind of an interesting reverse biblical story going on here of like God who's trying to destroy like in. So it's kind of like if you do the story of Lucifer, like rebelling, the angels, like a war in heaven because of over humanity, like jealousy over humanity, right? It's essentially the reverse of that, where the angels are defending humanity from the God that's going to kill them all to make.
So what you're saying is Marvel's trying to introduce Satan to our children.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I believe his name is
Okay.
Mephisto.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. How did you know? No, the like that's the that's kind of what we're saying. We're saying like what if the angels saved humanity? Is kind of what they're doing. Like these are like the God's angels, right? They're
Right.
literally like genderless. I don't get the whole setup. Like it makes no sense to me. And this is where it falls really short for me, where it's like these are just super characters with like these backgrounds, and like the reason they have backgrounds is because they're interesting characters that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they make no sense for like Sprite to be a kid or for this to like be that. Like it doesn't make any sense to have.
Well,
these
they
things.
they touch upon that very briefly because Sprite
see what
asks
I
Kumail Nanjiani's character, whose name I can't remember. Give me a
Kingo,
second.
I think it is.
Kingo, thank you.
Kingo. Yeah.
Sprite
Best
asks Kingo,
character.
like, why did Ereshkigal make me a kid? And he says, I don't know. Like, and that's kind of the thing, is that we have no idea why Ereshkigal decided to make, or Ereshkigal, excuse me, to decide to
That's
make
just
all of these people look and be the way they are.
It's because he's a dick.
That asks the question without
Like any god.
With I don't think any true intent of answering the question. I think it's just like, why does anything happen in life?
Right. I think she was just
And
talking
I
for the
don't
audience
think
at that
that's-
point,
Mhm.
where it's like,
know.
this all-powerful God making his superheroes, why would he make any of them a
And-
kid? And it's like, well,
and
who
I-
fucking knows?
I think if anything, what they're going for there is like this idea that why does anything happen? Why is anybody the way they are? Right? And it's like I don't think it's a question they're going to reveal or to delve into, which I think is kind of the problem. Where I'm like, no, like this is so inefficient to have like these distinct, like it's just for drama, and it feels false and it feels fake, and that's exactly how it kind of comes off. They come off as like a character that you drew that's kind of like Superman, or kind of like this person, or kind of like you kind of have, they're just analogs of the Justice League with yellow laser versions of their powers. Like it's just
That's my other problem. Is it seems like every single person's powers is some variation of yellow lasers, except for maybe.
well, it
except For
is
maybe
no, it
Fastest.
100% is. They're all kind of that.
Right.
Even so they're all as they even said by the end, they're all using like, they're kind of like Silver Surfers, where they kind of have like a part of the
Use cosmic
power
energy.
cosmic. You know, the power cosmic is imbued with them. They're just angels. They're the same things. They're heralds of, and that's exactly what they're kind of saying, is like these Eternals are people like Surfer and Eros and Thanos. Like they're a different breed of. Like even the weak ones, even the ones that aren't Icarus, they're basically Asgardians, right?
Yeah. And
Like
if I may, my biggest complaint with all of this movie and Marvel recently is that things went from bad guys here to destroy the country, the world, etc., and now Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor has to stop him. And now we are in, this guy wants to destroy all of time and space, and he wants to literally destroy the entire planet and rip it apart, and now we have to stop him. I feel like the stakes went from like 5 or 6 to like 1,000 real fast.
That's kind of what I like about stuff like the Black Widow movie and like some of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, they make it
brings
smaller.
It brings it
yeah.
back down.
And I think that
100%.
I think that you need to throw that in there until there's an Avengers movie where you're like, okay, now we can try to destroy the universe or whatever.
You can't do these things where you introduce only these characters, and it's all of the special people. Like a similar thing is like the X-Men, right? Like where you have all of these characters that you're introducing, right? But they managed to just make that a story about Wolverine and Rogue for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really do a good job, I think, of I don't know. Shouldn't, like, if that's a template, right? Then you're left with, like, if you actually look back at those X-Men movies, which, like, is as good as it can kind of get, is like, this did more of it. It also was like an hour longer, probably.
Oh yeah, it's
to
like
be
2.5 hours long.
and
That's the other thing.
It's so long.
Too
And
much.
And for that's a very long movie. Like, and I'm not saying, I don't know what I'm even saying about it. Like, it was long because it was long. It didn't feel exceptionally long, which I'll give it credit for, because I felt like it should have. Like, but it was breezy enough, I guess, that like I was following it. But how about the CGI on the after credit Pip guy too?
Yeah,
the
that
other guy besides Harry Styles. Like,
bad.
that was the
Patton
worst looking
Oswalt.
thing.
his name was
Patton
Even
Pete,
I
Oswalt,
right?
knew
too.
it was bad.
Yeah, like I was like, that looks horrible.
Yeah, he does not look good.
It felt so lazy coming from Marvel. Like I've seen what they can do, and Pip is
Yeah.
not great.
That was not fun. It wasn't funny.
It felt really out of place in a movie that ends on such a downer note and very
Yeah.
seriously, and then you have this like halfling, I guess, coming in
So-
drunkenly to introduce Star Fox. Spoiler, and it's like, what the what?
And Pip is this. The problem with someone like Pip is that it's he's just a drunken kind of Rocket Raccoon,
But less
like,
smart.
He's just curmudgeon, but he's just like
And with less budget attached to him.
He's supposed to be able to like teleport and kind of he's a Bamf that way. He's kind of a
I guess so.
He's an arcane trickster.
yeah. Well, it's just that he gets under your skin, like, but he
Oh, he's
has
getting
to
under
be-
there.
Yeah. Anyway, but the thing is that the real after credit here with Jon Snow is neat because apparently, did you guys find out who that voice was at the end?
I did not figure out who the voice was.
The theory or confirmed, I don't know, is that it's Mahershala Ali as Blade.
Okay. I mean, Blade's a character I would care more about than the This is
yeah.
It's weird because I'm like, yeah, I mean, everybody was like, you know, these characters are too obscure when it was like Guardians or something like that, and these are like, this is more obscure than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to be the person who's just like, oh, I don't know who this is, so I don't like it. But I also was like, I don't care going into this for these people. And then they announced Star Fox, who's a character I know less.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, at the very least, do mesh well with the Marvel universe proper.
Yeah.
The Eternals do not.
No,
doesn't-
that's absolutely correct. I think.
These characters have like a standalone story that kind of like works in this realm. Like I don't know if they're just trying to establish these realms of people that kind of are out there in existence, which is like fine, fair enough. Maybe Harry Styles is as Eris is a James Gunn thing. Maybe that's where it's going, but I don't know.
It just felt really out of place. Again, for a movie that took itself very seriously and was not very lighthearted at all, even though like the Kumail Nanjiani bits were, of course, but like
you have some jokes here and there just to make it a Marvel movie, but
for the most part, it was a very like serious movie that ended on a down note, and then you have this like hilarious little guy come in and introduce this like super cool, smooth talking, handsome man.
You're saying hilarious from like the Disney exec perspective, not the Jeff perspective.
I'm saying that as in like in the script, he's described as hilarious.
Right.
That's not exactly what happened. I'm gonna say, but that's
It
what
would have
they
been
tried
hilarious if Patton Oswalt had come out.
Just Patton
And
Oswalt.
been like, oh hi,
Just does a Type 5
I'm
for us real
Patton
quick.
Oswalt. This is Eros.
I don't know what I'm
kidnapped
doing
me
in this
to
universe.
to make this entrance. I would like to go home now.
I'd like to see my wife, please.
Oh god! Oh
tragic.
gosh! Oh.
He remarried, guys. That's what I was.
Oh, did he? Good
Yeah,
for him.
he's
I didn't know
remarried.
that.
Yeah. He's. I didn't mean his dead wife. Jesus Christ, you guys! Oh my God,
I
I'm not
thought
that
you
much of an
meant.
asshole.
Wow,
Listen.
Oh, I shouldn't have
Jeff
said anything.
Ackerman. You should send.
Yeah,
your
but you didn't know
emails
about that his new wife is actually invisible. And it's a very tragic.
I'm just gonna
thing in
edit
their
that out and make me say I want to get home and see my kids. That way, that's a little more.
And just
accurate.
force it to be not completely not in tone. I'd like to go home and see my kids.
Like anyway,
loving children.
what did you guys?
Yeah.
I think they would have done better if they had saved the Star Fox thing for another time, and instead just had the Black Knight ending credit scene just be it,
I don't
and
know,
just
'cause
let the movie end like sour, a down note with a little mystery. The comedy felt really out of place. I didn't like it.
I don't know, just because I just don't know where. Personally, I don't know at what point I will be ready to accept a Star Fox into the universe.
So
it's just I don't know who
Star
this character
Fox.
is.
Star Fox is actually more of an Avenger than any of the Eternals.
I should say his name is Eros. Star Fox, I think, is like a name he goes by. Like
he does all those barrel rolls.
Eros is to Peter Parker
Right.
as Spider-Man is to
Correct.
Star Fox. Like it's, or I fucked up that analogy, but you all
He
get
is
the point.
Thanos' brother. He's like gorgeous. Like he apparently like has he's Eros. He's love. He's literally like. He's a walking Harvey Weinstein, essentially. No, like
Whoa!
I don't.
No,
think
he's
he
like-
should
I don't
be.
want to see
No.
that movie.
no, he's basically like apparently he has like a pheromone thing that just like everybody falls in love with him that comes.
So he's
across
the
him.
bad guy from Black Widow, but
Or he's
Yeah,
the
he's
main
kinda-
character from
no,
every
he-
anime.
Less
That's a better
so.
example.
It's just that like he just has that effect like naturally to everyone that he meets. Apparently,
okay.
I don't know
Like
how
James
they're gonna-
Bond.
If they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna play into that or not. But
We'll see.
he's kind of I don't know. He's kind of a goofy character to have, but he's super powerful. He'd be like Icarus level at least, which I imagine could. He just flew in the sun at the end, right?
Yeah, that fucking wide Icarus literally flies himself into the sun at the end of the movie. He's like, so basically what happens is the Eternals are split whether or not to allow the emergence to happen and the birth of the new celestial Tiamut to happen. And Arishem says, like, if Tiamut is born, billions more planets will be created because he has that power. Billions of people will be born. However, Earth has to die to make that happen. And it seems like one of those, like, puzzles, not puzzles, but, like, logic things I had in high school where it's like train tracks, kill 5 people, or throw the switch to kill 1 person kind of thing. And they have to make that decision, and the group gets split, and Icarus leads the group that is like, no, we're going to let this happen. And when it doesn't, obviously, he fucking flies himself into the fucking sun. What was that? What the hell
Well,
is that?
I
And
think-
also, does
I
that
think
even kill him?
Wait. I don't
would
understand.
imagine so.
I don't understand your confusion.
What I don't understand why he would just kill himself after like.
Okay. So you don't understand like him betraying like the love that he's basically had this entire life. He had to go against that, against his duty as a being of the celestial, like that. He was basically just his duty against his love, and he chose his duty. He lost, and what does he do with himself? He just ended it.
At that point, he neither had his duty or his love.
He
Yeah.
also
Okay.
he also
He had
killed
nothing.
another
don't-
member of the team earlier.
So he just
which,
and he can't be kind of beaten by them, so he just does it himself. I mean, like that's the story they told. I mean, that's what is he
Also-
gonna do? What does he have?
Also,
as far as from his perspective.
Also, I just mentioned he kills Ajax. What was Salma Hayek's?
Hayek. Sorry, continue.
What was like her whole deal in this movie? She's just dead in all of it.
So she was the leader of the Eternals, and she was originally the only one who knew their real mission of making sure that the emergence happens. And after all the deviants are eradicated, they believe, 5,000 years prior to present day, she's like, go split up, go see the world, enjoy it, whatever. And then she's like, wait, I've changed my mind. Earth is pretty great. We need to assemble the Eternals and stop the emergence.
I
And Icarus is like, nah, man. And then he kills her.
I understand all that, but also, like, every scene she's in is a flashback, at least when she's alive.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
that's because that's just how the
'Cause-
storyline is played out in this
Yeah.
movie. There's a lot of like
So-
switching back between like the
So
past.
say
and
your
present.
question again, Troy.
I'm just sort of how do I want to phrase this?
We don't know.
I'm confused how this could be a character anyone cares about.
We did not care about it.
Okay.
I didn't really care, but like I understand. So I think the purpose of flashing between the past and the present as much as they did is because we're trying to see the world through the eyes of the Eternals, and they've lived forever, and they just don't have any memories from before they were on Earth. So, like, for them, time is almost meaningless because they will continue to live forever. So, for them, remembering memories of
just
5,000 years
reborn.
ago, yeah, they just keep getting memory wiped and then put on a new planet, and I guess you can call it reborn, but they're not quite being remade.
Right.
But it's which I think the director Chloe Zhao was trying to show us the world through their eyes. Like everything kind of blends together, all your memories from the past and what you're doing in the present. Because in the present day, Cersei, the main actress, she has a flashback to her wedding to Icarus in Babylon 5,000 years ago.
Did you guys laugh?
I laughed so hard when
he
fucking
would say, "I love you, Cersei."
Jon Snow and fucking
Jon Snow and
Robb Stark.
Robb
kept
Stark
saying, "I love you, Cersei."
Cersei.
I laughed so hard. I was talking to a friend of the podcast, John, when we got home, and I was like, dude, it was like I felt like I was getting punked. Like, there's no fucking way someone did this and didn't realize what was happening.
Well, I think the coolest thing is that the last lines that Robb Stark says to Jon Snow are, "The next time I see you, you'll be all in black." And his character in Eternals turns into the Black Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
It'd be
So
amazing
true.
at the end of this movie if the tagline wasn't Eternals, it was Game of Thrones season 9. Haha.
bring it.
yeah. And I remember I got an article tweeted at me because apparently I'm the fucking article guy on Twitter now. But
Jeff the article guy, is that your official title?
sure. It was Richard Madden doing an
the
interview.
Artica guy.
Richard Madden doing an interview about working with Kit Harington again, and he was like, it was awful. I hated it the first time, and I hated it more the second time. And then Kit laughs, and he was like, nah, it's great, actually, because we're all good buddies and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So they joked around, and they probably were very much aware of the awkwardness of saying I love you, Cersei, and how weird it is to have that name and these two characters present and have no actual relation to the other project they worked on for like fucking years. Robb Stark got killed off in season 3, but like
like
Jon
they gotta
Snow was
change
there
the
till the
name.
end.
I feel like they got to change the name on that. Like Cersei doesn't.
You could have done
Cersei's
so many
been done taken.
Cersei's
Sorry.
been done taken.
Can't use it.
Yeah,
Or cast Lena Headey as Cersei in the Eternals and make it like triple awkward.
Just double
Just
down.
triple down.
Triple down, baby. Lena Headey could pull it off. She's an amazing actress. Also, a couple quick points. Speaking of Richard Madden, first Scottish superhero in the MCU now, and first sex scene in the MCU between him and Gemma Chan.
Was that
Excuse
really
me.
the first sex scene?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And they wasted it on the Eternals?
I forgot
Uh-huh.
about that. I forgot about that. I remember.
We
yeah,
saw
like,
that, and I was watching in the theater by myself, and I
let
was
me
like,
just-
wow, Dee brought his kid to this.
I forgot
Oh, yeah.
about that.
How did he
because-
react?
Because no, he was fine. No, but I forgot about that because
It's very
I
tame.
just hadn't seen a quote unquote sex scene in a movie because like. Do you even do this anymore in movies? Like, when was
Last
the
time
last
I
time you
remember-
sat there and
the last-
lingered on two people making
the-
out and thought that
literally-
was normal for a bunch of people in a theater to do? Like, we don't
literally
need
the
them
last-
anymore. We get it. You had sex. You did
Literally
the
the
thing.
last time I remember it was 300.
Right, and that was a rape scene.
Yeah.
Oh no! There is
There's a genuine sex scene.
Well, it was Clockwork
genuine
Orange.
sex
Oh
scene. Yeah,
wait,
you're right.
hang on.
That's way before 300.
I'm kidding. No, but it did feel like kind of weird because that kind of content I feel moved towards the TV section of things, like streaming shows and whatnot. Especially to bring it back around to Game of Thrones. Richard Madden had a couple
Did
sex
they
scenes
ever
in
have
that.
sex in that show?
Or let me back up. No, there was a couple badass sex scenes in Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, which were actually dope, and I
Oh, yeah.
appreciated them, and they were awesome.
Yeah.
And they felt right.
It's literally two
both
superpowered people boning.
Well, more because especially with Jessica Jones, there was a lot of themes of like
Yeah.
sex,
Right, that's, like, the
sex,
whole
sexual
thing.
abuse. So like there was
Yeah.
like it made sense to have this not so much. This is just this is a love scene to show people in. Wait, who was it between? Was it Jon Snow or Icarus?
It was Richard Madden and Gemma Chan, Icarus and Cersei.
Okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, that I didn't need that story.
I mean, you could have accomplished the same thing with them just making out and being in a house alone together. You didn't have to actually show it. It felt gratuitous.
Yeah, I could have used that for Jon Snow and her.
Granted,
they didn't seem to have much chemistry at all, really.
Granted, I will never turn down a reason to see Richard Madden shirtless. Don't get me wrong.
He's good. He's good.
He's fucking awesome, and he is super sculpted because that's in your contract as an MCU person at this point in time. So fucking,
Unless
I mean, he's doing beta Superman, so
yeah.
Funny enough, I have a fun fact about that I really wanted to bring up because I know Troy was going to hate it. Chloe Zhao, director of this film, based Icarus's design and powers and visuals on Zack Snyder's Superman in Man of Steel.
I don't hate that.
That was her direct inspiration.
I have no problem with that.
Really? I thought you hate Snyder.
I liked Man of Steel actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. You just hate everything else he's done.
I don't even hate him technically.
I kind of dug his complete usage of his eye beams, like as a primary weapon.
Right.
That's the primary.
It's
weapon
like a thing
that
everybody else who has them forgets unless you're Cyclops and it's the only thing you have.
Yeah, right. And I'll give Homelander that he kind of uses it as a primary to some degree, but he'll use his other powers just as easily.
So
Homelander uses his eye beams if he can't be bothered with anything
I
else.
do have
right.
one question real quick. So Icarus's powers, obviously he can fly and he's got the eye beams. Does he have super strength?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know there's a part where he's punching that thing in the sky, and then there's a part where one of the wolf deviants is wrestling with him and he's having a lot of trouble. And then he just
wasn't as strong
bitch
as
slaps some
Yeah,
people.
the whole idea was
Gilgamesh has the super strength.
Gilgamesh has the
hero
gauntlets
strength.
that he can make, right?
Yeah. But he was essentially Superman. He did have kind of that. I would say comparable.
Even put on the glasses
with
and
Gilgamesh.
all of a sudden he's a different person.
But Gilgamesh had that extra oomph with those gauntlet things that kind of I think
He really did.
was more intense. And he was just naturally bigger. That dude is huge.
Don Lee? Oh yeah, Don Lee is a
Don
fucking
Lee is
huge
big.
human being. I would not want to be caught in a dark alley with him. I'll tell you that.
Not again.
Not again. No, not after the first time. He's like, I already learned you once. Do I got to learn you again?
How many times
Because
do we
he
have to
talks
teach
in
you this lesson,
wisecracking
old man?
40s man.
I gotta learn you something, Jeffrey.
Gonna learn you something today, boy. Anyway,
Good sir.
yeah. So I don't really have many other things to comment about the plot, except that they stopped the emergence as it's starting. So now there's just half a head and a hand just sticking out of the Indian Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And did she
I was
freeze
fine
it?
with
Is that
that.
ice now?
Yes.
So it's just there.
Oh my God! Wait a minute! Did anybody else, when she turned the one deviant into a tree, did you just get flashbacks to Don Cheadle as Captain Planet when he's like, "I turned you into trees"? You're all in trees. I turned you
No,
into
but
a
now
tree.
I do.
I do now.
That's all I was thinking. The
Someone
entire
needs
time.
to
I turned
redub
all
that
of you into
scene.
trees. I'll turn you all into trees. That's all I was thinking.
That's
of the
incredible.
entire time. I was like, I wanted her to turn around and be like, I'll turn you all into trees. That's all I
I'll
was
turn
thinking
every
the
last
entire
one of you
time.
into a tree.
I forgot about that. That's all I was thinking. I'll turn
And
you
that's
all
how we
into
fix
trees.
deforestation.
Also, there were so many plot points in this movie that didn't make a lick of goddamn sense. She does the tree thing, right? And everyone's like, holy shit, you've never been able to do that before. And then when they're talking to Festus on the ship and devising a plan, nobody brings it up until 20 minutes later. And then he literally says, why did no one tell me this before?
Turn some chick into a tree.
And he's like, that would have been valuable information 15 minutes ago. Why did no one bring it up? Or even
before that point, they do sort of bring it up the Eternals do not evolve, so that's why it's a big deal.
Yeah, and that I think that kind of alludes to them being able to evolve at this point, or maybe that's where we're gonna go in Eternals 2.
he was like, "Why did no one bring this up before?" And she was like, "Shut up, or I'll turn you into a tree."
You want to be next science man?
Dude, she'd be so much more interesting of a character if she was just threatening everybody all the time.
I
Fuck you, I'll
also
turn you into a tree.
just a really,
They drop
really
their
short.
they drop their
Makes
one
Cersei
F-bomb.
super aggro.
Hey, to be fair, you know that even though these are all PG-13, they never use their F, right?
Oh, did they
They
not?
really don't. They never use it.
That's true. Yeah.
Wait,
they,
what?
They don't even give it.
They never use their one F-bomb, do they?
Yeah, Marvel
Well,
movies
they
in
used it
general.
up with the sex scene because that's an on-screen fuck, just not a
hey,
verbal
what's
fuck.
up, everybody? Chris is here all week.
Yeah,
They
because
did
they,
it-
they
they
don't
did
even
Not
give,
for long.
They, don't
They
even
did
give
it in
Samuel-
Venom. They did it in Venom, right? They used their fucking Venom.
Yeah, but that's
Fuck
also,
this guy.
That's also Sony. Like,
Yeah.
that's
That's
also
what I'm
kind
saying.
of one step removed.
That's what I'm saying. The mouse doesn't do it. The mouse doesn't fuck.
The mouse definitely fucks. Are you kidding? That mouse's dick is
apparently
super
doesn't
wet.
Fuck.
No.
But only to his
Disney's
faithful wife,
allegorical penis is their lawyers, and they fuck
That's true.
everyone.
That's true.
Oof.
They'll fuck a middle school play about the Little Mermaid.
So, the end of this movie, as I said before, it ends on a down note. After they stop the emergence and Icarus goes off and kills himself, the remaining Celestials kind of split up with Thena, Druig, and who was the fast chick? The deaf one?
she's
A-Train.
Makari.
You'd think she
Makari.
should be fastest, but not.
No. So Makari, Thena.
Oh, now I get it.
Jesus,
oh,
that
you're
was a-
fast. Okay.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Which is another side character that I liked that didn't do much.
Yeah.
Like
She wasn't fastest, was she?
No,
That was the other guy.
Fastos is the tech
It
guy.
didn't make sense. She should have been fastest.
So basically, Thena, Druig, and Makari, they fly off in the Eternals ship to go
By the way, I
spread
like
the
that-
news.
I like that in the last leg of the storyline, completely, like literal the denouement, the falling action. They finally clarified that it's Thena and not Athena.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that
Raise the movie end.
I was like, oh, that makes sense. to
Why
put
is
this
only
scene
she
there.
different?
What is happening? Why is that scene in this movie? There's no. What it's just to give Angelina Jolie like a little bit more screen time. Like, there's no reason for this shit.
Well, she also
like-
stabbed an orange. So
Yeah, and she got her babysitting privileges revoked till the end of
yeah,
time.
and that's gonna be
I
important
hate-
for later.
That was
on.
calculated. She didn't want to watch. She didn't want to watch that kid.
Yeah, he says that, and then I'm sure like she's just like, okay.
I don't like how afterwards she just acts all Angelina Jolie. Like, it's all she just saying is like. Just
I don't have a
stares.
problem with that.
And,
13-year-old
like,
me's had a
oh.
crush on Angelina Jolie forever.
I actually saw an article
Why
because
isn't
I'm
she
Troy.
Cruella
I'm actually
de Vil?
Troy, the article guy, and I don't like you stepping on my turf like this. Or Jeff,
I think she
actually.
should.
Jesus.
But
Why was she not Cruella de Vil? How did this not happen?
That's honestly a really good question, and that's one of the reasons why I saw Cruella happening, and I was like, who cares?
that's the reason you didn't care about Cruella. That was the sole reason. That was the deciding factor.
No. There were a lot of other reasons, and then I was like, but I mean, Angelina Jolie's right there. You could have cast her. She's perfect. But anyway, what were you about to say, Troy?
I was gonna say that I saw an article where somebody was like, this is before I saw it, where people were like, everybody's kind of stiff, but Angelina Jolie, and I kind of came out of it. I was like, I don't really think that's true. I think everybody was pretty good.
Everybody was pretty darn good.
Pretty
Yeah,
darn
the
good.
acting was
Pretty
good.
darn good.
Oh,
I
pretty
said.
darn good.
I said pretty darn good.
I think the standout star is unfortunately someone whose character name I don't know, nor their actor name, but the Kimbo's assistant or Kingo's assistant.
Harish Patel
Right.
as Karun.
So funny. Loved every bit of him.
Oh, yeah.
I was how many cameras do you have? Like,
That was so
It was
good.
funny. It was a good bit. It was a good running bit. I really did like.
He reminded me of the taxi driver from
I did,
Deadpool.
like, and Kingo was funny. Like, and I don't always find him funny.
Kumail?
And I
Camille
yeah.
Nanjiani.
The one real honest complaint there was that I kept saying this is like a sepia toned movie, and there was I just want to remind you there was a Bollywood dance sequence.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, you're totally.
Like
I totally know where you're going.
devoid of life, like devoid of like fun. Like I don't. It just wasn't.
And if you don't have fun watching a Bollywood movie, you're not human.
I don't like. Come on, they could have done. It just go ham. Like you're Marvel. You're and Disney and it's Bollywood. Like just. How
I don't
did this
know.
not
I don't know
work?
if it was in the budget.
I was so confused. I was like, the guy
that's the
shoots
time for,
lasers.
like, shitty
How did this
CGI
not
Pip.
work? The guy shoots finger butt. Like he even has finger guns. Like why? How did this not work?
It's
Best power.
He's kind
ever.
of Indian Johnny Cage in this.
yeah, he really is.
It is no. That was a great. That's 100% what his character is. It's fine. It's perfect.
According to Kumail, according to Kumail himself in an interview, he wanted to combine the
according to
wisecracking
Kumail-
attitude of John McClane with the look of Bollywood actor Hrithik Roshan. So he really wanted to combine like this.
adorable.
Yeah, he wanted to combine like an Indian actor.
You were
with
Bollywood Johnny
John McClane.
Cage. Sorry, buddy.
He might not have that reference in his repertoire, and the only closest thing
if
he
I-
had was
He might
John
not be a
McClane.
Let me guess what Kumail said. He said, "Well, this is a very important movie, and if people are not ready for it, then people are not ready for a very important movie. And, some people are just not evolved." Like that's what I imagine his reaction to things was.
He very well could have been. Who knows? It is fucking. This movie's so fucking weird at the end.
So this is my full. If I could summarize this whole podcast into one quick sentence, this is what I would do.
Shit.
It's
In over our heads.
Good. I was just about to ask you to do that. So
there's a few times where people. This isn't one sentence. This is a string of.
So
thoughts.
you lied to me.
But
fantastic.
People will talk about like Marvel movies, and sometimes they're like, "Yeah, like I have to go like do like my required Marvel reading basically to understand later movies." But there's always like enough where you're like, okay, like Ant-Man the Wasp is like I like Paul Rudd and like the dynamics of these characters.
And even so, the context you can piece together most of
Yeah,
it.
and you this is the first one where I'm like, if I didn't watch this, I won't understand what's going on with the later stuff, and I am only here for that, and it feels like kind of homeworky.
Yeah, it's certainly.
It was a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, and the movie even begins with a fucking Star Wars-esque
Oh
title
my
crawl.
gosh!
Crawl.
I
I
was so
forgot
worried
about
at that
that.
point. I was in that Times New Roman giant text. It was like weirdly kerned. Like I swear it had an orphan. Like you know what I mean? Like it had like. Do you know what I mean? Like the where it just has like
do.
the one word at the end. Oh, like one. Like I swear I was like, who the fuck? How did this get here? What producer was like, put an opening scrawl? Like
It
was
sucks so much
bad.
energy of it because like do you get
and none of that information was even relevant. Nor
No,
do I even
absolutely not.
remember what it said. Like it was so useless.
and
And doesn't she narrate anyway?
100%. They 100% say that entire thing later on at least 2 times.
Yeah, they definitely go over it a couple
So dumb.
times. Selma
So
Hayek does some narration bits, and I'm just like, what are you doing here? I thought it was about show, don't tell. But like,
This movie was tell.
Yeah, that's basically it. They're the intellers, intelners. You get what I mean.
I don't actually.
I'll get there.
I
I'll get
don't.
there. I'll figure it
It
out.
was an
By the end,
attempt.
come
It
back to
wasn't
me.
good.
Come back to me at the end of the episode.
Okay.
We'll circle back around.
One
and
other
we're
fun
back.
fact before I wrap this up, actually. So this is the first instance of this happening that I know of, but Gemma Chan, who plays Cersei, she did play Minerva in Captain Marvel. So they are reusing
Really?
the actress in a different role. Yeah.
That's weird.
Who the heck was? Oh, she
So
was the
Minerva is
the-
based
she
on
had-
Dr. Minerva.
Well, she was the
a
Kree. She was
a Kree sniper and a member of
Sniper,
Jan
I
Rog's
remember- I
Star Force
remember.
team along with Carol Danvers.
She was
Yeah.
blue
Gotcha.
though, right?
I believe so, yeah.
She's an alien of some
Doesn't
sort.
count.
She also
So-
didn't turn people into trees.
I'll turn you into a tree.
I'll turn you into
Turn
a
you
fucking
all
tree.
tree.
Yeah. But this movie
Yeah,
ends...
there's like multiple parts
where
of
the
that.
F-
I didn't realize there was more Captain Planets with Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
There's more than just the one. There's like a bunch, and then they're all dark like that.
That's
Just
where the
used to
F-bomb
people
should
into
be.
Trees.
So after
Oh, the fucking trees.
after they stop the emergence, they basically they go about their lives with Cersei staying on Earth, and she turns Sprite into an actual human girl, so she will like grow up and stuff because it's always been her biggest complaint. So she's happy about that.
Oh, why she didn't
Festus,
just turn her into like an adult version of Sprite?
apparently that was too much power than just
Gross.
simply turning an
Gross.
Eternal into a human being.
It's gross.
Yeah. Festus goes back to his husband and son, and Cersei goes back to Dane, Jon Snow, and they're kind of just doing their thing. When fucking Erisham shows up and just captures the three of them and like pulls them into outer space, and Jon Snow's just standing there in the park like screaming at the sky for Cersei, and it's like,
Well,
well,
he was also just saying like, oh, apparently also, my family history is pretty complicated.
yeah.
And,
Apparently, I'm the
He's-
bastard
it
son of
Turns
some
out
guy.
he's
Basically what
actually
he
named
did-
Jon Snow.
Basically, what
Weird,
he
right?
did, he essentially sat there and was just like, I'm actually going to have an end credit scene at the end of this movie. You just have to wait another maybe 10 minutes. And
Speaking of end
like,
credits,
oh,
I'm
man.
fucking tired of them. I hate them now.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to see any more of them. I don't want to have to sit like a couple 30 seconds after the credits showing like all the main actors to watch one ending credit scene. I then don't want to have to sit through another 3 minutes to
Yeah, I
watch
get
an
that.
end credit
So-
scene, especially ones that are plot relevant,
so,
Okay.
Chris,
and especially
yeah.
for a fucking movie that sucked.
So Chris, I
Yeah,
understand where you're
true.
coming from. I am responding to this as a person that knows that I am a sociopath. I'm not saying that you're wrong or anything, or that like, oh, actually it's for this reason. I'm just saying that it hasn't bothered me because like a sociopath, I show up 15 minutes before every movie that I see, watch all the trailers, even if I've seen them all basui watch the movie, and
Which
then we'll,
honestly, you have at this point because the coronavirus postponed most things.
Yep, and then I will, no matter the movie, even if I know there's not an end credit scene, we'll basically watch to the end of the trailers.
Yep.
Yeah, you are a sociopath. I'm just gonna come out and say it
That's
again.
definitely true.
Me and Jeff saw No Time to Die recently, and Jeff like looked it up and was like, "Yeah, there's no end credit scene," and I just kind of sat there, and he was just like, "Come on, we can go now."
Yeah, and you were like,
We
"I'm
can go
good.
now. The movie's over.
Yeah, it's done. Let's get out of here, please."
I know that I've seen 2 movies recently with Jeff. I know he hates that.
Yeah, and then fucking we're sitting there till the end, and then it's like James Bond will return. It's like, well, no fucking shit. Can we go now?
But what if at the end it said James Bond will not return, and then they never make another movie again?
Honestly, we didn't do this as a separate podcast, but in No Time to Die, I did not bet on them sending James out with a fucking low orbit nuclear strike. Okay, that was not how I thought that was going.
I don't know if we should keep that in because people may not have seen that movie.
Nah.
Yeah. Spoilers, Jeff.
As
They're
if they care.
They're expecting to get spoiled for Eternals.
Yeah, dude. What the heck, man?
Anyway, Eternals wraps up with Erisham taking the 3 of them hostage, and he's like, listen, you stopped the emergence. I'm not happy, but I'm going to use your memories to determine whether or not you did the right thing, and I'm going to evaluate humanity as a whole. And then he disappears with them, just leaving Jon Snow
Also,
in the park by
everybody-
himself.
Everybody
I think
in-
they're going to living tribunal.
Every single
Sure.
person who's just like a random bystander in this movie is so much more chill than every other Marvel thing I've ever seen. Of like, there's a fight at the
yeah.
beginning. There's a fight at
Well-
the beginning where they have a deviant in the streets, and for a second I thought they were like, "Oh, did they like not see the deviants? Is that like a thing?" and then somebody goes, "Run, move!" And it's like
That was Jon Snow.
it's
He was like,
10
"Run,
It's
run!"
like 10 minutes into the fight, and I'm just like, "Why didn't they move beforehand?" And then
Well,
later,
you see, it's because they're desensitized. In their world, there's fights breaking out like every
They're
other
like-
block.
they're
Yeah,
like,
they
they
all
see like
disappear.
some weird monster.
They're all
getting-
waiting to disappear again at any moment. Like
Jesus
they all
Christ.
have serious PTSD, I imagine.
They're
just
hoping to
like-
get a selfie with the monster and Captain
Yeah.
America.
they go. This
Those
isn't like an
people are
Ultron
really messed up.
thing. This is
By the way,
pretty-
the more you think about the snap and the blip and like them coming back, like the darker and darker it gets. It's
Right.
It doesn't get brighter, I'll tell you
so
that.
many people, so many lives of people, like so many people so many babies dropped Like,
Jesus Christ, man, stop it.
So many babies
many-
left to rot in their cribs.
What if the
Yep.
snap
Yep.
happened and a
Yep.
mother
Yep.
was
Yep.
snapped, but the fetus was not, so it just like
Yep.
plopped
Yep.
down like a
Oh
sack
wow!
of
Did we all
potatoes?
read the
Settled.
same Reddit
we,
thread?
we all settled we all settled the baby debate.
Well, there's also
abortion debate.
there's also a scene of there's a helicopter crash at one point. If there was another guy in the passenger seat, he's dead.
Jesus.
Like think about all the planes that are
I'm
in the
not.
sky. Where the
I'm not
pilots
thinking about this
disappear.
anymore. Instead, you know what I'm going to do, Troy? I'm going to wrap up the Eternals movie. I know that from the comics, Erisham, all the Celestials have like a subtitle, and Erisham is the judge. So it does make sense for them to send them to a tribunal and like judge humanity and planet Earth and determine whether or not it was worth saving. And that's going to set up a good plot for like Eternals 2, where maybe they have to like recruit the Guardians or some other spacefaring Avengers to like go help rescue the Eternals from the tribunal because Erisham's determining, it was not fit, and now they have to fight an actual Celestial. That's
And
a pretty
no,
good setup.
Eternal
and the
2
after credits.
is just gonna be a courtroom drama.
And at the end credit,
Law
but
and
at
Order.
the end credits, they're gonna say, and that seals it. We know what we have to do. We have to resurrect Tony Stark. Dun dun
Dun,
dun.
dun.
Just
Directed by Michael Wolff.
I didn't realize
Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf. I didn't realize Zack Snyder was coming on board for the resurrection scenes. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. But
Oh yeah.
Eternals 2, I feel like might be an okay movie, but I hate that I had to do homework to get there because this
100%.
feels like homework.
I don't think it'll be a good movie. I don't want to see it either.
This is
I'll
also the
send it
second
back.
movie I've watched that feels like required reading before a good movie comes out, like
Yeah,
Dune.
I'm kind of done with like. It's
I don't.
really
Were you
done.
on the Dune podcast,
Although,
Troy?
although Dune,
We were all
Dune was intriguing
That's right,
enough and new enough. Like I don't know. You should have told me the Eternal story. Tell me that in I don't know. I think that's the better Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
This isn't a. This is you have 10 characters.
I feel like Eternals could have been better as a miniseries, like 8 or 9
Exactly.
episodes, where you have them doing everything in timeline order, setting up who
It
they
doesn't make
are.
sense.
You have
It
all the
didn't make
Babylon
sense.
stuff,
Yeah.
and then you go into modern day, and then the betrayal.
You have a whole episode or 3 establishing Jon Snow's relationship with Cersei. Like you have a couple,
Exactly.
Like, establish the relationship. Like I don't. None of it made
What, you
sense.
didn't like that he was in the beginning of this movie and then a few phone calls? And
It could have been a lot better.
Man, if I see one more like just missing phone call, bzz, bzz, like just like of the face popping up. Like how many people even have a face picture for their like for people in their lives?
I have a picture for my fiance in
That
my
comes up
phone,
on their phone,
and
yeah.
it's a picture of Batman from the animated series, just like leaning on a rail and smiling.
Right.
It's from an episode in season 2.
For your romantic life, you like to think about Batman more than your own fiance. Is that what you're saying?
true.
No comment.
Huh.
He likes to
Interesting.
put it in the Batcave, if you know what I mean.
Well,
All the comments, yes.
Well, I like the fact that this movie has.
So this movie again ends on a down note. I'm kind of looking forward to Eternals 2. I just hate the walk I had to go through to get there.
I'm amazed that
I
you
am
said
not.
that.
I'm not. Yeah.
I
looking forward to anything related. That wasn't.
Jeff,
fun.
you're too hopeful.
I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful for better things going forward, and I think Eternals 2 might be better. I don't know.
I
It
think,
couldn't get much worse.
That's true. I also don't know how you do Eternals 2, because that's like, I guess fucking Marvel. They
I'm
write
telling
blank
you,
checks.
courtroom drama.
Doesn't matter.
Dun, dun.
I think that's it for Eternals. You guys ready to wrap up the podcast?
Yep,
I am so
yep.
ready. This is not
Not much else to
yeah.
say.
I like.
This is boo.
I like. I
Oh,
there's a
shout
lot
out
of-
to Marvel doing a same-sex kiss and getting banned in
Same-
Gulf countries
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
between
nice.
Festus and his husband.
I was gonna say that there's first there's a deaf character. Indian
deaf character and an
it's,
Indian.
It's
A lot of
cool.
inclusion.
It's cool. It's just I wish it was all in a better movie.
The leading
And
lady
there's-
is,
and honestly,
Asian.
all those characters that are new representation are characters that I probably like the most.
Yeah. Don't forget the first Scottish superhero in Icarus.
Icarus is also real boring though.
Yeah, he's kind of a boring guy, and it doesn't get much. Like I saw the betrayal happening, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Should I care?"
Look,
We
he's,
should wrap
he's
up.
like he's Jim Caviezel light, or like who's Superman?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Henry
Jim
Cavill. He's-
Caviezel.
Yeah, I was mixing that up with
Jim,
Jesus.
Jim
I thought it
Carrey
was
and
Jesus.
Henry Cavill had like a weird fucking conjoined.
Yeah, Henry
baby.
Cavill.
Henry Cavill put on the
he-
mask and
He's
became.
like he's just the light version of him. It's just kind of funny. Scottish version.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'd like to thank
that
you
was a
all for
show.
listening to the podcast. If you stuck
You're
around
welcome.
this long, go ahead and leave us a kind review on your favorite podcasting platform,
Or
or
don't.
if you're on
Or
YouTube, leave us a
douchey
comment
review.
and
Put
give us a
douchey
like.
review in. That's cool too.
And go
Douchey
leave
review.
Eternals a bad review.
I mean, if you want to, I don't want to condone
Disney,
review
they
bombing.
do
Deserve
better.
it.
Yeah, don't
No,
review.
they that's a lot of money. They need to do better.
Do better.
Just listen
Disney.
to what Captain Falcon America said.
Captain
You know
Falcon.
what you should do? is
Falcon punch!
You should write what you genuinely thought about the movie, and it
He
seems
sh-
like a lot of people did. It seems like a lot of
Tell
people
them what
did.
Black Falcon did. Do better.
Do
You gotta
better.
You got to do better.
As Shia says, just do it. Anyway, thank you to my co-hosts Troy Brittingham
You're welcome.
and Chris Carroll
I'm drinking a Mountain Dew. Have a good one, folks.
and Old D. Thanks for
And
thanks for
remember,
being here.
fastest wasn't fast.
And thanks
No.
to you, Jeff.
Thank you, Troy. And that concludes that's it. We're done. I'm just gonna say we're done.
And I am getting a sword of my ancestors, and maybe I'll be in the next podcast.
Goodbye, Troy.
But I'm a voice. But I'm a voice too.
Oh no!
Whoa.
Could I be?
Oh, why is Chris so bad CGI?
Next episode, I'm gonna be in poor CGI.
Jesus.
Ooh, I love that.